This is Lindsay, and it's Sunday, October 12th, 2025. And I just wanted to do a video because this is just proof of the fact that I'm under like constant surveillance in this house. And I'm quite sure that like my mother...
The one that is being worshipped or the one that compels the worship of the other?
I'm quite sure that it has to do with the fact that there's like hidden cameras in this house, and hidden cameras or whatever is going on, and I'm being exploited, by my privacy invaded. Sorry about that. So it's really aggravating because I don't need. When a person's privacy has been invaded and hacked into your entire life, like exploited and hacked into, obviously if you have any common sense, you're going to react to it and get angry because that's what a normal person does, because it's a violation of your privacy rights. And I was listening to something this morning. First of all, I did an audio recording last night about some stuff, and I mentioned something about blacks. I don't know. I think I did. I talked about something that has to do some African Americans or a black man. He's not African. He's not American. And then I was having. Nonetheless, anytime I say anything about something, then they show up like these people because they monitor what I do, and then they start fucking doing their street theater crap that they do, or try to intimidate me. Some of them. And so I noticed that, first of all, this morning I was listening to something about how socializing is just kind of bad for people, how, like, and it's true. I don't socialize. I'm antisocial, and I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm not a social person. I don't like socializing. I don't like going out in public. I don't like going to parties. Those days were long gone for me. I'm not interested in that. If anything, sometimes just to observe people, but I don't like to socialize. It's exhausting to try to like constantly fit a role or image that people expect of you. And that's how society is. They expect you to be social. They expect you to be constantly on the go and happy and active and shit like that. And that's why it's like I'm not going to do that. That's not who I am. I'm a very reclusive person. I like to be by myself, and I like to do my own thing. And nobody is going to change that. Nobody can take that away from me. That's who I am. But they try to shame you in this society when you're somebody who doesn't hang out in a little group, who doesn't, you're just by yourself and loner, and you do your own thing, or you're solitaire, then they fucking harass you and gang stalk you and try to irritate the shit out of you, because I'm used to this going on for years and years and years. And so everybody knows that people with high intelligence don't fucking socialize it. It's fucking dumb. And even more, most people who are intelligent don't have a fucking social media or Facebook or crap like that, which I do, but I'm going to get rid of that fucking dumb thing because I don't like any of it. Nobody needs to know what I do. And I make the YouTube videos to document this stuff because every single day, the violation of my rights, the violation of my privacy using these goddamn government people, that's why I make the videos about this stuff. It's called narcissistic abuse, and it's called societal narcissism. So I have the right to document the gang stalking, the harassment, the mobbing, the smear campaign things that go on via the fucking satellite surveillance or hidden cameras, which is a violation of my rights. And then they use some fucking asinine excuse that I'm delusional, schizophrenic, or whatever. No, shove that fucking mental diagnosis up your fucking ass, Mr. Psychiatrist, know-it-all shit fuck. That's a big fuck you to you people in the fucking psychiatric industry. I fucking hate you. I can't stand your fucking DSM, and don't fucking bother me with that shit. Because my diagnosis is none of your fucking business. And by the way, that shit's all fake anyway. A mental diagnosis can change just like the fucking seasons. One day you're this, one day you're that. It's called reacting to your environment, which is what normal people do. You expect people to just always be the same and with the same expression on their face and never react to anything. That's called a fucking robot or a mannequin. Normal people react to what's going on around them, or they're emotionally reactive, which is a human emotion. So there's nothing wrong with that. Don't let the whole silly ass psychiatric industry fool you into thinking that there's something wrong with you if you express different emotions. That's so stupid. That's because these people have no emotional reaction to anything. And so therefore they have to project their own anger onto other people by creating a whole fucking dumb book to keep you under control. Because smart people think. Smart people challenge the fucking system. Okay? They ask questions. They think. They analyze. They're able to see beyond the fucking facade bullshit that most people are in this fucking matrix of just like delusion because they pay attention to the media. I don't, and I never have. I don't believe that shit. And so, therefore, they have to fucking target me because, someone like this knows too much, or they might... So what? What's wrong with knowledge? You know, what's wrong with learning about things that I have interest in? And I'm not going to let these people stop me or intimidate me, because they don't. It just shows me how stupid they are when they try to scare me or intimidate me by letting me know that they've been listening to my conversations or whatever. What the fuck kind of idiots are going to do that? What kind of mentally ill people are going to listen to somebody's conversation illegally via their phone, surveillance or whatever, and then go out and do some goddamn smear campaign and gang stalking and mobbing in street theater? What kind of mental... That right there shows that somebody's crazy. If you want to see a definition of crazy, that's what gang stalking is. The people who engage in government harassment, gang stalking, espionage, mobbing, bullying in a gym or at the workplace, those people are the ones who have a problem. Not me. Okay? I see it for what it is. I see it going on around me. I just ignore it. But every single day, if I go to the gym or when I'm in public, this is the shit that these people do. Just to try to fucking irritate me by letting me know that they're watching me and that they know things about me that they don't need to know, that they shouldn't know. Okay? It's called abuse of power. It's medical COINTELPRO. It's called HIPAA laws that are violated when a person has medical records that are, hacked into. These things that they're doing are completely atrocious and illegal and sick. It's sick. And it tells me that people who do such things have some demonic, must be infested with some kind of demons. Because normal people who have God or who have faith or spirituality do not do those kinds of things. They don't need to, because they have the protection of a higher power. But people on that low vibration who engage in gang stalking and harassment and mobbing of innocent people clearly have some issues, and they project, they find the scapegoat and they project, because God knows for long enough I've been their scapegoat, and usually it's the same thing. If I say something about a black person, then they all get fucking offended and they all do the fucking gang stalking shit. They all fucking gang up on me at once. If I say one goddamn thing in defense about what happens to be that a black person did to me, then they all fucking retaliate and go against me and try to scare me in a big fucking mob, because that's what they did to me today. I said something about a black man last night on a that's fucking voodoo, whatever the fuck thing that man was, who I shouldn't have ever contacted, but nonetheless, I've talked about that. And so today at the gym, and then I mentioned something in a conversation on the phone the other day about how certain black people at a different location were bothering me or making me feel a little bit uncomfortable. Some of them at a different gym location. And I said it just makes me uncomfortable sometimes when what some of them do. And I said that I was talking to my mother in a brief conversation about that yesterday, because I said I don't want to go to that location, and there's other people that work there. There's just something about that place that I don't like. I don't like it. I don't feel, if I don't feel comfortable at a certain, I'm not going to fucking go. If I don't feel comfortable at a place, why go? Why put yourself through that kind of trauma in mental anguish when people hate you that much and they don't want you there, and they're clearly letting you know by doing the gang stalking and mobbing? Why continue to do something like that, right? If people don't like you, who fucking cares? But they and I know that they don't like me. I don't give a fuck. I'm not trying to be popular. I'm just being myself. But these people turn everything into a competition. If you go someplace and you frequent it regularly, they're going to make sure that that they're going to do the smear campaign to drive you out of the place. I don't have a fucking fear of people. I just don't like to socialize. There's a big difference between being afraid and just being antisocial. And I'm proud of being antisocial. I've always been antisocial. If they want to call that crazy or delusional or schizophrenic, go the fuck ahead. If I'm crazy because I like to talk to myself or talk to a video camera to document things and then let them call me crazy. I don't give a fuck what the fuck they say. I don't care. What I care about is violating my privacy in my home via surveillance cameras and hacking into my cell phone and hacking into my computer. That's what I care about. Because that's what the government does to people who are targeted people. Okay? That's what I fight for, my constitutional rights, which the fucking social communist goddamn political Zionist agenda has stripped away pretty much of everybody because of this stupid Canaanite system that we're under. And these are facts. You can call me a hater, you can call me a racist, an anti-Semite. None of that shit is true. I'm stating facts here about history reveals everything, about why it's all in history, about why certain things are happening the way they do and what's really going on. None of this stuff is like it just started happening yesterday. And people get so angry when you call it out for what it is because they can't stand this kind of stuff to be put out in the public because they want it to be hidden. They want it to be secret because, oh no, this person is gonna... I don't give a fuck. Like I said, freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. I'm not harming anybody. I'm not physically hurting anybody. I'm not a threat to anybody. I'm not a threat to myself. So what's the fucking problem? Okay? They can send their goddamn little espionage retards out to fucking fuck with me and do their stupid surveillance shit, whatever the fuck it is they're doing, their gang stalking. But it just makes them look like fools. It makes them look foolish because this is the United States. We're not living in fucking social communist fucking China, okay? This is not Russia. This is not Germany during Stasi Germany period. This is the United States. We have rights. We have human rights, individual rights, and the Constitution does apply to me, and I do use that as my moral, okay? And I do have God in my life, and I do have a higher power who I respect. And if these people want to strip that away from me via their fucking gang stalking, their goddamn demonic, satanic shit, whatever it is they do, you can try till hell freezes over and it's not going to work with me because I have protection. And I see what's going on. I have the ability to discern what they're doing to me. Thank God for that because I'm very observant and very perceptive to these things. So this morning, before I continue going off on this tangent, and of course, what I was listening to this morning had to do something about antisocial and about how, people who are always being social is just taxing on the spirit and the soul when you're always trying to impress people and always trying to be in these social situations, because it's all this pressure that's applied to people who do that. And it's just like, why? Yeah, I've been there, done that. No, I don't do that anymore. I've been there, done that in the past. So I used to do the same thing. But I realize that's not me. That's not my goal in life. That's not my calling. Now, going to the gym, that's different. You don't have to socialize at a gym. That's why I do go to the gym, because you don't have to socialize. But you can see whenever you don't socialize with people in a gym, for example, then they want to know what's wrong with this person. Then they start targeting you because there's something wrong with you because you are a loner. No, I just like to be by myself. I don't need to I don't go to the gym to fucking chit chat, and I go there to focus on what I'm fucking doing. I don't need the fucking distractions. There's enough distractions at these places as it is. And I just avoid it. I don't want to get involved with that. But, so on my way there, okay, there's this man, they just do weird shit, like to let me know that they're monitoring my talk, my conversations, my computer usage and all that. So I go there and I'm pulling into the parking lot to the Gold's Gym over there at out west 151, and there's this black man. As soon as I'm turning into the parking lot, there's this black man wearing all black, and he's looking at me like this look. Like just this evil look. And it just so happens that as soon as I'm pulling in to part, turning in my car, he's right there crossing, the sidewalk. And he was just looking at me like I didn't have a right to be pulling into the fucking parking lot. And I just was like, what the fuck? He just stared at me like this weird, like possessed look. And it was creepy. I was like, wow, that was intense, because I don't know this man. I don't even, but that was, and he had like he had some necklace, some kind of medallion on. I don't know what he had. I'm not sure what it was, but it was just creepy. Oh, actually, he was on a bicycle. I'm sorry, he was on a bicycle. Yeah, he was on a bicycle. But the way he looked at me was indicative of something that was just... Like sometimes, when people look at you, you try to avoid eye contact with certain people because it's like they want to curse you. You don't even have, it's like they have some kind of intention that's malevolent, and they just want to cause you problems, and they want to curse. They literally want to put a spell on you, a curse of some kind by looking. That's why I don't make eye contact with a lot of people. If I feel uncomfortable with certain people, I don't even look at them. I just avoid them. I just don't even make eye contact with them. Because I feel the negativity and I feel the bad vibes, and I don't want to suck up that evil energy. Because I don't want to, it's just not conducive for my well-being to be around that kind of toxicity all the time. I don't want to deal with it. It's not my problem. I'm not your scapegoat. Don't fucking take it out on me. Because you can feel things about certain people and environments. You can feel, I can pick up on the vibrations of bad stuff, and it's like I absorb. I don't want to do that. That's why it's uncomfortable to be around these situations for me. But I put myself in those kinds of situations all the time, and it's like I feel physically sick, like I want to throw up, like I want to pass out, like I want to. It's like you can. I literally, for example, when that man who I had consulted, that psychic, spiritual, whatever, this man doing his stuff, which a lot of it involved some kind of hoodoo, voodoo shit, whatever. Sorry, I didn't mean to put down your religion, okay? If you practice that, okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to, I apologize, to each his own, but I don't practice that kind of religion. I've never done, it's not something that I would want to get involved with, so whatever. I apologize if I offend anybody, but I could feel when I was talking to that man sometimes, even though he had a really friendly voice and he seemed like he was legit, but that's how they do. They persuade you. They get inside your mind, right? They're able to, this man had, I believe, he was the one who was putting some kind of spell on me, if anybody. I was paying him to get answers about things because he said he was a psychic, but lo and behold, here he is putting some kind of witch shit or demonic spells on me. Is what he was doing, is what I think, because I would feel sick to my stomach, sick. I remember the first time I talked to him, after I had the first conversation with him, and I had given him some money, I'd gone to give him, I remember I went into a grocery store. Oh, this was after he said he was going to do some kind of he had to do something that involved a goat or a lamb, like sacrificing a lamb. I said, what? And he wanted money to do that. I said, what is that going to do? He said, it's going to make these people leave you alone. I was like, what? I was like, what in the fuck is this? What am I doing? And what is this man talking about? So I remember I felt so nauseated after he was telling me that. And after I had given, I literally walked into the HEB that was over there at East Houston, East Commerce Street, and I thought I was going to fucking throw up. I felt like I had already been possessed by something. I literally felt so sick to my stomach. I felt like I was going to pass out. I felt like I had been taken over by some kind of a demon just from that conversation with him. When he said that that he was going to do some kind. Oh, I remember because I had gone to the park. I had pulled into the parking lot at the Gold's Gym at Walsham in 78, and he was calling me. He kept calling me and calling me on the phone. I'm like, shit, I just pulled into the parking lot. This man is bothering me for he wanted money. I'm like, I'm just, leave me the fuck alone. I'm thinking, what in the fuck is the urgency? And he kept pressuring me to give him money, right? And so I'm in the fucking parking lot, and he's calling me, texting me, saying, Senora, are you there? And I called him. I said, what's going on? He said, well, I'm waiting. Estoy esperando. I said, ¿para qué? ¿Qué estás esperando? Esta cabra está esperando. He said something about the goat. He was ready to sacrifice a fucking goat, is what he was telling me, or some lamb, a goat, a cabra, whatever the fuck is in Spanish for a lamb or something. And I said, what are you talking about? I never agreed to sacrifice an animal. I don't even eat. I'm a vegetarian. I don't kill animals. I was like, what are you doing? No. I said, no. So he was like already fucking with my head. It was just weird. And then I went to the gym and I was in a fucking daze. People were looking at me like I was crazy. All these, it's like, what the fuck is this man doing to me? What has he done to me? Is the question. What spell shit are you doing to me? I'm thinking. Because I felt sick. I wasn't myself. I don't know. It's like something overtook my spirit and my body is how I felt. And I felt like that for days and days and days. Like a long time. I felt just sick. Like, who am I? What's going on? And what are they doing to me? Is how I felt. I was not in my own frame of mind. And I just remember going into the store after I went to the gym, and it was a weird day. This was after that. I remember it was really strange, my experience at the gym. And then I went to the grocery store, the H-E-B, and I just thought, I was like in a rage. I was angry. I felt like I was mad because this man kept pressuring me to give him money. And I was just fucking mad. I felt like I was just pissed off. And they all seemed to know. Like the whole fucking grocery store seemed to know what was going on, is what it felt like. So I'm just saying, I learned that I will not ever consult with these kinds of people like that, especially if you don't know them in person or you haven't sat down face to face with them, and then you only you do some, and then finally they show who you are by asking and begging them to let me see who you are. If you're legit, let me do a FaceTime or whatever, a video call. And he was so reluctant to do that. I'm thinking, why is this man so reluctant to do a video chat with me if I'm giving him this money and he's supposed to be helping me get answers about things to make this shit stop in my life and all these things that he said he was going to put a stop to it because he said that these people had put spells on me. He said he was going to reverse all that shit. And he's, I'm like, well, okay, if you say so, but whatever. Yeah, needless to say, I don't trust anybody. I don't trust these people. I don't want to give them my money. I already did that. That's said and done. But I learned that, you have to trust your first instincts. And once again, being that I'm a curious person, I had to put it to the test. I had to say, well, you know what? Let this man do some of his shit and let's see what happens. Let me see what's going to happen with this. Well, whatever happened, it was weird. Okay, it was odd, strange. I feel like some strange stuff happened to me, and I'm not going to give this man all the credit for it. I don't know what, but I just feel that I don't trust. I don't know what these, but I assume that if a person's practicing black magic, like that kind of dark stuff. Now, don't get confused with the word occult. That just means hidden. And dark magic. Yeah, I dabbled in the occult, but not to that extent. Not to the extent that I get books and look up spells and go out and do things like that. Well, no, I don't. I have my mind. I can do things with my mind, fortunately. But which is called different kind of remote viewing type things. I'm able to do things like that. I have a psychic ability, but I don't do spells on people. Not my thing. So whatever these people do, whatever, I suspect that people who engage with some Santeria or this voodoo stuff that derives from Africa, I believe its origins are from Africa or maybe Haiti, or I know that there's a lot of people in third world countries who practice this stuff, like these kinds of things. dark stuff like that, like evil things. Their intentions are to cast evil spells. It's evil. It's all done for evil intentions, from what I've heard. Well, I feel that people who do these kinds of things, they probably also have a lot of demons, and they probably are Satanists. I wouldn't doubt that they have that they practice some kind of weird sacrificial things, like satanic evil things, is what I would think. Now, I don't want to be involved with those kinds of people personally. It's not conducive for my well-being. I would never do that to somebody, nor would I want anybody doing that to me. But, so yeah, so whatever was going on today at the gym, at this Gold's Gym, there's some people there, and I was greeted. There's a man who works here who I like, who's friendly, who I think is a cool person who works there. His name is Gabriel. I think Gabriel. He's really cool. I mean, I don't know him, but he seems like a nice guy. But tattoos and all that, just somebody who's himself, an interesting individual, unique. I like people like that. I don't know these people, but I think that they're whatever. All I'm saying is that a person can practice whatever religion or whatever they want, but if you're doing evil things on people that don't deserve it, that's got to stop. For those of you out there doing evil spells on people and you don't even know what the fuck you're doing and you just do it because you hate somebody, that's pure fucking demonic evil, and it will come back to you. That should be a warning that because those kinds of people that do things like that, it will come back to you. If you're doing things like that, like this man showing me those photos of some fucking pot plant or something with photos of me in it and a fucking voodoo doll, that I finally deleted it from my phone. I was like, I can't even have this shit saved. I was like, what the hell? He's the one who made that. Does he really want me to believe that some woman named Maria in Mexico, who my mother contracted and hired and paid $35,000, do you think my mother would really do that? I don't think so. I doubt it. I really doubt it. So he had me convinced into thinking that my mother and my aunt and my brother, or whoever, paid some woman in Mexico named Maria in Guadalajara to fucking do a death spell on me and do that. And what he came up with, that whole little thing with that pot plant thing with basically a little grave. It was basically a pot plant with pictures of me that were gathered from the internet somehow with a voodoo doll. Oh, he came up with that. He did that. Nobody did that named Maria. He's the one who did that. He had to hurry up and do something fast because I said, let me see the pictures of what you're talking about. I said, I want to see the photos of what you're talking about that's in this cemetery that you claim that they buried me in, that supposedly they stole my identity. Let me see the proof. And he couldn't come up with any fucking proof, so he came up with that. Duh. So right there, he was cursing me. This man is the one who was putting spells on me. Some kind of evil spells is what I have come to the conclusion, that this man had put some kind of a spell, some kind of a witchcraft spell on me without my asking for it, obviously. But it's over now because God protects me, and that shit's not going to work with me. So good luck, but that tell me I was going to die, tell me that I was going to get in an accident. He was evil, I think. Evil, just because he wanted my money. You don't tell people things like that. So, so today it's like a theme of black people. I just noticed the theme today. It's like I was surrounded by a lot of African American or blacks. I don't know where they're from. Some of them might be from foreign countries. Some of them might be African Americans. But I noticed that there's a lot of them today. A whole bunch of them when I was on the elliptical. I looked behind me and it was all just black people. Blacks, black women, black men. And that's fine. I'm just saying it's kind of strange because I had made a comment about talking about them. And I don't know these people. I don't know their names. And I don't have anything against black people going to the fucking gym. I don't give a fuck where they go. I couldn't care less who the fuck goes to the gym. I don't care if you're Asian, black, whatever. I'm just saying, why? It just seemed kind of odd that it was like I was surrounded by a whole lot of them today. And they're all wearing black, too. Most of them were African Americans, and most of them, a lot of them were wearing black. Well, I wear black, too. I love to wear black. And I don't know. It's just kind of strange. I'm just saying that it was kind of weird. I didn't know what to think about that. I didn't quite know how to... Because I think that some of them... I get along with them just fine, some of them. Some of them they don't have any effect on me. Other people, whatever, could be anybody, when they're doing weird things and I can feel their animosity and hatred towards me, then I feel it. I pick up on that and I put my guard up and I don't make eye contact with them. I try not to, because I can feel the vibrations of their negativity already, and I just get away. I try to avoid it for my own protection. That's just how I am, because I can feel the energies. I can pick up on things going on around me. So it was just strange, because all that was happening, and the guy at the desk this morning was really friendly to me. The guy, his name with the tattoos, his name is Gabriel, I think, who works there. I think he's probably Hispanic or something. I don't know. But yeah, he's cool with me. But that some of these people are nice to me who work there. I don't know any, like I said, but I don't know anybody. And that's the way I try to keep it. I don't want to get too involved with people when I at the place that I go all the time, for my own sanity. It's not conducive for me to gossip about people there, to get to, that kind of stuff. If you go to a place every day, or especially if you work at a place like that, it would be real foolish of me to start getting in these little groups and gossiping and, why would I do that? But I did notice something else weird. There was this woman who was on a treadmill a couple ones down from me, and she was looking at me like she was definitely observing me. Okay, some woman, I've never seen her there before. She had dark hair. She may have been Middle Eastern or Hispanic. I don't know. Maybe some kind of something. She was looking at me kind of strange in a way, kind of looking at me, or observing me, I noticed. And then I noticed this woman who works there named Nancy, who works there. She went up and started talking to the woman, and Nancy was wearing like her shorts and her workout attire. I don't know if maybe she was working there today or just there to exercise, whatever. I don't know. Maybe she was just there to work out if she's working later. But she was there talking to that woman. I was like, that's okay. Whatever. I just noticed that, and it was like some street theater going on, like kind of thing. Because they were wanting me to react or get my attention, it felt like. So, but that kind of thing happens to me a lot, like the synchronicities in the street theater and the whatever, a lot. And I see it all. I notice it all. It's like they want to act out. And they want me to pay attention to their dialogue, their script, because they're scripted. A lot of these people, they literally are scripted, and clearly they work for the fucking government or something, because, well, why else would they be targeting me? Because I'm a fucking political dissident. Gee,